Just in case we're live.
Yeah, we are, I think.
We're live. We're live.
Lunch Money Lambert. Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition. It's your boy Ox Pippin, aka Ox Fishing. Don't come over here tripping. Hey, hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to KBN Live. The whole team's back together, Ryan. We're back.
We're back, finally. I feel like it's been years since we've done this together, Jeff.
I know, it's too long.
I'm a little bit nervous, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I remember how.
Yeah, we straight up, just a break a couple weeks ago. Just took a summer break for us, and then last week you handled it yourself while I was on vacation.
I tried to. I stumbled through it. We got it done, though, thankfully. Thanks for Armando stepping in. One of my favorite backups that we keep on hand here for when one of us is off roaming the jungle.
Yeah, I was down at the beach, a little family vacation at the end of summer. He texted me and at the last minute when I guess you got him, he said this is going to be a shit show, and then he did the show with you.
No, it was pretty solid. It was pretty solid. We had Jason on, get us a little JT update, and had some fantastic conversations revolving around kind of the direction that the sport's going and some of the changes that we may think that we're going to see coming. And then, boom, days later, Livescope is banned.
It happened.
I completely attribute it to our conversation on the podcast. So
probably. You moved the needle more than once, Ryan.
I think that was it.
Yeah. I think everybody could feel something coming, the winds of change coming. I didn't know if there was going to be like limits and guardrails or a complete ban, but something was going to happen, and NPFL had the guts, I'd say, to jump out there and do it right.
Yep. I mean, again, if you start seeing these organizations like Bass and stuff, starting to look at it and have specific boards put together to to evaluate things, like something's happening. You know something's happening. So
yeah.
It did.
So you can tell the folks who I put on the description of the show, BTC, for folks that don't know this. Tell them who we got coming on to talk about this.
Brian the Carpenter, longtime producer, co-host, whatever you want to call it at Ike Live, and now Bass After Dark, which is a hilarious podcast. And what's really funny is like their top 10 lists that they post, like on their on their Instagram stories. Quite a bit of satire, but also pretty serious conversations as well.
Yeah. Corey Whitechurch in the comments. So he's wondering what Bassmaster and MFL are going to say. They have something to say. Yeah, we'll be seeing. Somebody mentioned your stash, Ryan. I got a funny story for you. Well, it's not funny because you didn't get to witness it, but my
stash there?
My son went on vacation with us to the beach, and he talked me into not shaving for the week and having a mustache for the week at the beach. Mm-hmm. So it looked like somebody dumped some topsoil on my lip there for a few days, but I had it going. I shaved it off before I went back to work today, though.
I wish I would have known.
I should have kept it on for the show.
We could have matched.
Yeah. Well, no, I'd had to really get close for y'all to see it.
It's all right. We'll pretend.
Yeah. Anyway, fun.
We can get you some of those glasses that have the nose and the mustache on it.
Yeah, maybe next time I'll let it go for a month, and then maybe you can see it just a little bit. Right there. Both my boys cuss me for it. They're like, "Damn it, Dad, we can't grow one either."
That's part of being a dad is you get to embarrass your family. So
yeah, it was cool.
Perks of the job.
Yeah, we got YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook all jumping in here. Appreciate y'all jumping in. It's been a few weeks since we've been on the regular, but we're back. Summer's over basically, and we're back. So I say we do a little sunglasses giveaway tonight, Ryan. What do you think?
Let's do one. Let's do a sunglasses giveaway. Then we'll be back on track. Rumor has it we might have some big news for next Monday. I will confirm that tomorrow. But we could have some big news dropping here on Kayak Bass Nation next Monday.
There we go. I don't even know what it is, so it is big news. It's huge.
Don't worry. I have my people in the streets.
Yeah. So doing a Revo giveaway, hit the like, comment, and all those things on all the platforms you're watching, wherever you're watching. On Facebook, you can have the ability to share it, so that would help us out a lot if you would. It doesn't cost you anything, but it means a lot to us. So
help us
share.
annoy new people. So share it.
Help us help you or
Yes.
them. So yeah, share the stream on Facebook, like it, and we'll give away some sweet Revos. And I've got a code lined up to get. I'll have the code to you tonight. So all you got to do is reach out, whoever wins.
Boom.
Get it to you.
Way faster than my prize pack delivery. I went to ship a Yak Addicts prize pack to our good friend Mr. Miller, and I came home to a package sitting on my door, and I was like, "Oh, check it out! I got something cool in the mail," and it was just the return to sender. So it's gonna head back out tomorrow. We'll try it again.
We've got some new folks in the YouTube comments, man. Or maybe they just changed their YouTube name. I don't remember seeing Christy Cooper Sells Houses before on our
Christy
list.
Cooper is one of our local Tennessee kayak anglers who does, in fact, sell houses in the Nashville area. So
has her
hello,
YouTube
Christy.
channel always been that? Because I don't remember seeing that.
I don't know, to be honest with you. She could be signed in from like maybe a work YouTube channel or something. I don't know if she does like house walkthroughs or something. But if you want to move to Tennessee, holler at Christy Cooper.
Shout out to Christy Cooper, official realtor of KBN.
Yes.
You didn't know it, Christy, but you're in there now. There we go. Hey, it looks like our guest is here. We'll get him in just a second. He's got everything.
He's scrambling.
worked out.
He's great. It's okay. He's had a stressful day.
He's professional like us, professional podcast.
Yeah. Yes, he is. Yes,
yeah.
indeed, he is.
Shout out to the sponsors real quick. We need to get Travis and Mr. Dominguez on to talk about the Big Bass 250 for Ecofishing, ecofishing.com. You know they're presenting sponsor of the show, but the Big Bass 250 is coming up the end of October. Need to get folks signed up for that. It's a hell of an event. It's going to be even bigger this year, I know, but we need to get them.
My buddy Lil Skinny from Nashville is going to come out and play some live music for us. We're going to have some cornhole. Steve-O's going to ride up with me. Last time he rode anywhere with me, we got like 3 tickets between here and Arkansas. So it should be an eventful journey, I think.
There we go. And it's funny getting up there. It's well, from here, it's a pretty easy drive. And that last hour, you're kind of going through country roads, and then boom, you open up to this big lake community up there. So fun little place. Should have a good time. Western Son Vodka. Well, hopefully we can get some cases shipped in for the event. Help out with the open bar up there, huh? Right?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Pro Guide Lithium, official battery at KBN, also carried by Eco Fishing, so we appreciate them. We already talked about Revo tonight, giving away some glasses. Summer's over, school's back in session, but it's still hot and sunny, so you need some good Revos if you're going to be out there fishing, hunting, or whatever.
Can't beat them.
Yeah. Seaguar, Z-Man, and Gill, we appreciate them when it's their night. So all the sponsors make this show fun. It helps us give back to y'all for putting up with this on Monday nights. So it's a lot of fun. With that said, man, let's get Brian in here.
Yeah,
he's back. He's back on the camera.
Yeah, he's almost ready. He was just hot wiring a Honda Civic or something there.
There we go. ETC, what's up, man?
Is this on?
It is.
Yes.
Can you put your mouth on it? There we go. All right, now we're cooking.
I feel like we all synced up our bluish purple lights tonight. We got it going on.
Shit. Yeah, we are. Look at that.
Yeah, it was in the group chat. You guys didn't see it?
Yeah.
Nah. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing?
How have you been? Tell us about your life, Brian. Goodness, you've been all over the place.
I don't know, man. It's been a lot of work, and started a new podcast, and that's pretty much, as far as fishing goes, that's about the most exciting thing I got going on.
Tell us about your new podcast.
Oh, Bass After Dark, Thursday nights, 9 Eastern. Me and Ken Duke. Each show, one question, 3 guests.
Just one question?
That's it.
That's
Every
crazy.
show's predicated upon one question. This week,
Okay.
is bass fishing a sport?
We've had that argument on here before.
Yeah, it depends if you look at the people doing it or not, I think. If you just understand the premise, then yes, it probably is a sport. If you look at the anglers, it's debatable.
Indeed. And my host, co-host, he's really the host. He says we're co-hosts, but he's the freaking man. Ken Duke. If you guys don't know who Ken Duke is, he was a former editor of Bassmaster magazine. He's more amazing than most people know. He's a really cool dude. He's got more stats on fishing that he just keeps for himself that Bassmaster don't even have.
He's like Marty Hughes.
We'll get into
that's
that.
Right. That's the first name that popped in my mind, Ryan. He's there, Marty Hughes over there.
Marty Hughes counts like he's Nebraska.
Canada?
Nebraska, but he counts like every fish that swims by him. Like he's like I've paddled over 7,000 bluegill this year. Like he's he's got it dialed.
I was thinking of Marty Huggins,
who also sounds like a great guy.
She was in that movie with Will Ferrell where they were both running for congressman or something.
I don't know who wouldn't know that, to be honest with you.
Oh, there you go. Welcome to the show. Yeah, I remember that movie. That's awesome. Yeah, man. Well, we had you on tonight. We wanted to talk about your show, obviously, but I think that show's awesome and hilarious over there, Bass After Dark. But the big news this week, or in the last week or so, all the talk was Livescope, forward-facing sonar, getting kicked by the NPFL. They did it. There's winds of change blowing everywhere, I guess, on this. You know, you've got Randy Blockett haters, Randy Blockett lovers. There's people out there talking both sides of this thing. So we just want to talk about it here. I don't know how this stuff trickles down to the kayak bass fishing world, but it seems to all connect eventually. So here we are. We're going to bat it around.
What's the culture of forward facing? What's the vibe in the kayak world?
Oh, they love it, man.
Is there people that
I think it's similar. I think there's opposition to it, but we haven't seen outside of like Ewing Minor, really. We haven't seen like the domination of forward-facing sonar. Like some of the California guys are really good with it, and they've cashed some checks with it. Ewing is the only one that comes to mind that's actually, you know, just dominated, and on some shallow water fisheries too. You know, things that you would expect to be a shallow water bite. He's dominated with forward-facing sonar. But I think because kayaks can't cover as much water, right? So we're not like, you know, covering miles of water on the screen, so to speak. I don't think we've seen as big of an impact on kayak fishing as the bass boat world has.
Yeah, we had a situation similar to Okeechobee with the scope winning on Okeechobee a couple years ago, and that was like, how does that win early spring on Okeechobee, right? We had a guy win on Caddo throwing jerk baits at the bottom of cypress trees with scope.
I forgot about Rolando. I shouldn't forget about Rolando. He's also a scope wizard.
Rolando.
Yeah, so that's happened here too. That kind of stuff's happened here too. Yeah,
true.
Rolando.
Yeah, Rolando. Forever.
Yeah,
but we haven't seen the impact. And again, you know, we don't have like live TV coverage, which I feel like was another kind of factor, is how is exciting, you know, people watching just a dude staring at a screen throwing a little freaking minnow on a jig head all day. I think that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, well, that certainly that from the viewer standpoint. So you have the anglers and you have the viewers. You know, you guys might not run into the issues with the viewers just yet for, like you said, because of the screen. But as far as the anglers go, I don't think the kayaks not covering the distance thing is gonna hold true with that. I think it's just going to take a little bit more younger guys, you know, getting into it. I think it's going to have the same dominating effect in your world too.
Good. I hope they ban it in our world too. Take that, suckers. Learn how to fish.
You know, it's funny in kayak world, and Ryan, we've heard this a time or two. It's similar in the bass boat world where folks argue about, if you're going to allow it, why don't you allow the primitive methods of, you know, winching yourself over blockades in the water or being able to jump berms. Kayak anglers want to be able to portage, drag their boat over a log. If you can use the tech, why can't you go low tech and just use manpower? That argument does persist in the kayak world.
Where do you guys stand on that? I asked you first.
Man, I don't care really. I think part of kayak fishing is the whole point of it is to get back in some backwater stuff. I think where we might have got off track is we started trying to limit, okay, well, this you can do, this you can't do, instead of basically just saying if it's public access and you can get to it, go have at it. But now we're way far down this rabbit hole of, you can't fish past that bridge on that side of the creek and shit like that. So I think we kind of shot ourselves in the foot on that one a little bit.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man, because if it's a sport, everybody needs to be in the same arena, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like those online tournaments. You get that guy, what's that dude's name? Gilligan Spaghetti or something? The guy from Florida.
That's Ben Milliken. No, you're talking about Conrad. You're talking about our boy Conrad.
Yeah,
Conrad. Yeah, he disappeared with the COVID restrictions.
Yeah, he came in hot and left just as hot. He got in a few live tournaments, and that was it. Yeah,
he's fishing for snook now, I think. We love Conrad.
He's YouTubing with his son, actually. Shout out Conrad.
We love Conrad. He's amazing.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, anyhow.
Yeah. And that was the deal. We're talking about Livescope tonight, but in our world, we road runner, you can drop anywhere, and people were going, you said be in the same arena. We had people, 20 miles off the lake, up creeks, and it wasn't against the rules. They weren't cheating, but people wanted to rein that in and say, hey, let's fish the same body of water. How about that?
I think the deal was getting there from the lake. I think that was the point. Instead of finding, where a stream just came out of the mountain spring or something, it was like, okay, at least you launched in the same state before you got there. I think that
or connected this body of water with that one with a trail of piss that he
make a trench, whatever it may be.
Yeah. Whatever you got to do to get there,
Yeah, but that's the low tech ways of getting an advantage, and we're talking Livescope tonight, forward facing sonar. It's when Bass banned, and I don't want to misquote this, when they banned the Alabama rig years ago, part of the reasoning behind that, you can find, I should have brought the article and brought it up here, but it made it too easy for professional anglers to catch the fish. That was a paraphrase of the quote in the statement they put out to ban the Alabama rig, right? And I think that's what people are thinking about this technology. If you're at the highest level of fishing, is it taking away that aspect? Is it too easy?
And that's why we wanted you here, Brian, because you are a seasoned veteran of watching the bullshit happen in many realms of professional fishing. What do you think about it? Do you think it's making it too easy? Do you think it's not entertaining? Do you think it's impacting the fishing industry too much on the lure side of things, sponsorship dollars? What do you think went into the thought process here?
So I'll look at it from the history of the sport, right? I got to say that, and I can't back this up with anything other than the hunch, but I'm going to go ahead and say that there's never been in the history of sports, going back to the Greeks with their fig leaves on the booty holes, that there's never been a technological advancement that has come into a sport, any sport, that has instantly turned things over the way that forward facing has. The guys that were, the best now can barely compete. So it's just completely turned things over. I don't think that can be argued. That's what this technology has done. Personally, I think it's cool as hell. I don't know it that well, but I think it's really neat. I've always wanted to know what the hell's underneath me. I can only see down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now you can. Now you can tell what's going on. So I don't want to see that go away. I think it's neat. I also get the perspective that it takes away certain things, that connecting with the environment and that intuition. It absolutely does that, and it's just the nature of nothing's free. Everything's a balance. If you add this, you got to take away that. So it's just how life works. But I'd rather have the options to have both. But to see what it's done to the sport, that's kind of messed up, right? One thing I didn't like about MLF after a couple of years was it became a wacky rig sport. Everybody, the guys figured it out. They gamed it. They knew, all right, this is what we got to do. It's not about catching big ones anymore. It's about catching as many 1-pounders as we can. And everybody threw a wacky rig on a spinner rod. And I like the spinner rods. I'm not like you guys, with all that overcompensating stuff.
You
with-
guys.
You guys, what is
you guys. No,
okay? All right.
you know what I'm talking about.
Kayak anglers can only throw spinning rods.
No.
You heard it here first.
No.
Brian the Carpenter.
No, that wasn't kayak anglers. That's it's the good old boys. That's your good old boys. But no, it made the sport uninteresting to me, right? Watching it.
Less entertaining just to watch
Right.
watch people do the same thing all day.
And that's what forward facing's done. It's made it one dimensional in a lot of ways. So that part I don't like, we do see some guys target them with a jig, throw a big bait out there, but it absolutely does dominate. And there's no question about that. I will take it a step further here. My partner Ken, his stance on it, and I watched his opinion on it kind of evolve. He was, you don't limit technology. Every time bass does that, or the sport does that, they shoot themselves in the foot when they had the 150 outboard limitations, and back in the day, that really slowed things down. So that was his stance. Well, Ken's a numbers guy. He can't be swayed upon feeling. He has to see it. He also keeps track of catch rates for Bassmaster. Every single elite event, he has his, keeps stats on it. The number one all-time leader in catch rate was Aaron Martin's. Aaron Martin's career average is the best of any Elite Series anglers catch rate at 4.83, I believe. It helps if I have the right page. Aaron's catch rate, 4.83 bass he weighed in per Elite Series day. This year, the average Elite Series angler's catch rate is higher than the previous all-time bests. So guys are catching more, right? But it's having an effect. It's changing things, and I don't know where I personally stand on it. But I kind of don't like seeing it dominate like that. But that's their problem, It's like I don't compete. That's their problem to figure out. I do like what NPFL just did. I absolutely love it. Now you have a league that, for the anglers and for the viewers or fans, you have a league that, assumingly, Bass, whenever they decide to make a decision and announce it and maybe put their schedule out and start doing work over there, I'm assuming they're going to allow it outright, maybe limit, a transducer or a screen or something. You want to compete with forward facing, you want to watch forward facing, you got Bassmaster. If you don't want to compete with forward facing, you don't want to watch tournaments with that, you have NPFL. And if you don't know what you want, you got MLF, because they're going to.
I don't think they're worried about saving viewers at all at MLF. So I feel like that ship has sailed over there. But Bassmaster, though, they have the elites and the opens. Do you think they might outlaw it in the elites and keep it in the opens, or do anything like that?
I do not think that.
Okay.
Yeah, I do not think those things.
All right.
I do not recall.
I do not think those things. Nah, I cannot see that happening. But, why on earth have we had, 2 leagues, then 3 leagues? I mean, bass fishing is not that exciting. Nobody gets tackled or punched in the face. Nothing.
The grass is always greener, brother. We used to have 3 leagues.
But we have 3 leagues, and all 3 leagues have the same rules, fish the same time of year, generally fish the same lakes, fish under the same rules. For who, for what?
Yeah.
And honestly, at NPFL, they're doing some different things. They had a tournament this year. I think they launched from like 11 to 7 or something.
I like it. I like a little
The
second
other leagues are
shift.
done,
Second shift
and
tourney.
yeah, the other two leagues are done because they're on the same schedule. NPFL just had an event, and they have two more. Yeah, it's smart.
Yeah, mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, so, and now they're the league that's no forward facing. And again, it was a business decision on their part.
It was, and it made waves. I mean, you saw it everywhere when that dropped. Like, it was getting shared all over the place. And I think for them, that was just as much of an advertising move as it was anything else. Like, they're the first league to do it, but they're also what everybody's talking about, even if they hadn't heard of NPFL before at all.
It's the top thing that they've ever done as far as like getting their name out there. And good for them. You never hear bad things about them guys from the people competing over there. So I'm happy for them.
Yeah. And it's a bold move too, to jump out there and be first at anything. It's easy to follow along and do what everybody else is doing, but to be first is a bold move.
Yeah. And I thought, I don't know if you guys saw it last week. Rumor went out that Major League Fishing banned it in the Opens, or excuse me, in the Toyotas and the BFLs. Did you guys catch that?
No.
Nah, I don't think MLF pops up on my feed. I don't know.
Well, it wasn't coming from MLF. It was coming from numbnuts Facebook pages, and I think that idiot in Alabama, that TMZ guy.
Oh yeah, Slick.
Ugh.
I think, obviously we've heard rumors about a panel at Bassmaster that are looking into, all these metrics and all this stuff, kind of evaluating what the impact is on fishing and on the fisheries. But I think we went again from like 0 to 100 with Livescope. Like, it started out and it's one transducer forward facing. Well, now it's two transducers facing each way, two more off the side. Like, you went from getting one section of information to now you're getting all the way around the boat, where every fish is 80 feet out. So I think that made a big difference too. And I don't know if limiting to only one transducer will fix the problem or make it more entertaining. But I think you do have to address something, when you've got 80 grand worth of electronics looking all around your boat, finding fish for you.
Yeah.
It's always been a bit of a rich kid's sport, honestly. And this really exacerbates that. Like, who's going to be able to come through the high school to college ranks? Like, yeah, you had to buy the boat and truck and all that. Now you got to add all that electronics just to compete. It just makes it that much tougher. You know what I mean? And that was something from jump that I didn't like about it, was that, it added that element to it. So
yeah, and I know some of this, man, is like older anglers are like, man, I put 30 years into this. I learned all these techniques and my instincts, and I learned the weather and how to read the treetops and everything else in the world out there. And now, a 20-year-old can grab some waypoints and forward facing and beat my brains in, and they don't like it. And I get that, and that's probably true to a point, right? So
some truth there.
Yeah, some truth there. Some of that's just being old and grumpy too. I mean, somebody in the comments earlier said, if you can't skip a dock, you shouldn't be winning these tournaments, and these people are doing it. Is that an accurate statement? You know what I mean? That's probably accurate.
I mean, Corrado, DC. You'll have to limit that too, because then you can skip docks.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I got an issue with some of the older anglers too. As the season came to a close, you see the Facebook post from the competitors. There's another season going by. Can't wait to get home and get in a tree stand. All right, bitch, don't make a post in the spring how you couldn't catch them on forward facing. Like, why in a tree? How about in your boat and go learn the technology?
Yeah.
How much of that kind of impact do you think went into some of this? Like you see these kind of perennial names that have been in the sport for, 15, 20 years kind of getting pushed out by the new age of video game fishermen. Do you think that was kind of a targeted approach by NPFL, throwing that out there to maybe attract some guys that wanted to get back to throwing frogs and jigs and stuff?
Maybe. I think, they'll trade that for, they may lose some of the guys that they have over there now that are the younger guys. Biggest name that wins a lot over there, Patrick Walters. Pat can catch them both ways, but does a lot of his damage with the forward facing. They'll lose some of the younger guys. I think the bigger thing for them was just separating from the rest. That was really just kind of creating their own lane, and it was just smart. Yeah. They all should.
Made me think of Sukup over there as well. He's a wizard with the forward facing. I mean, runs bass tank and all that. Obviously a wizard with it, but definitely going to change things. I don't know. We got people in the comments talking about NPFLs, the Working Man Series, saying ban game cameras too for hunters. Come on now, man. I'm not talking about that.
Here, Luke's got a good comment here. I'm gonna throw up real quick. Saying Livescope is too expensive is a weak argument, in my opinion. It's a mild expense compared to boats, rods, reels, tackle. That's true.
Luke,
if you're
you're adding on to a really big expense.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just another thing. You know what I mean? Like, okay, the boat's $70,000, but like, dude, it's just
the boat's $70,000 naked, and then when you get it outfitted to tournament fish without Livescope, it's $100,000, and then you add on all your graphs and transducers, and some of these guys are running multiple transducers around the boat, multiple 16-inch screens. Then you're adding another 25, 30 grand on top of that. Like that's what our guest last week, Jason Borofka, he fishes the opens, and he's got like a really nice Vexus tricked out, one Livescope screen. He's like, dude, when I was there, I think they were on St. Clair. He's like, when I was putting the boat in, I felt underprepared. He's like, I'm looking at these dudes that have transducers hanging off everywhere. They've got 5 or 6 screens on the front of the boat. He's like, I felt like I, didn't have what I needed to compete out here. And St. Clair's a big bowl, and he's like, they're just out trolling around, looking 360 degrees. And he's like, I felt like I couldn't cover the amount of water they could, in twice the time.
Right. And you can get what, 15, 20 year loan for a boat. You know what I mean? You can't do that. I guess you could put it on plastic and just never pay it or something. I don't know. But
that's what I like
again, man, to the comment on YouTube, it just adds, like I said, it's not a weak argument. It's adding a lot of money. It's not the bulk of it, but again, it just adds to it. And people have a threshold. And like you pointed out, dude went out there and has it and felt underprepared. What's that going to do to the kids? All those trust fund babies, maybe grandpa didn't leave this one just.
I was going to say they're going to call their grandpa and ask if they can have 3 more Livescope transducers.
Those guys got to start kayak fishing. That's what's got to happen, right? They got to come down.
They'll be stealing shit out of hotel parking lots to put on their boat in the middle of the night.
I saw you started this one up, Ryan. I'm gonna throw it up. N8 Fishing and Music on YouTube. You got to draw a line on text somewhere, right? What's the next advancement? And in NPFL's news release about this, their press release, they even stated golf constricts the golf ball, baseball, pro baseball, wooden bats, not aluminum bats. So many other sports have, governors on things, if you will.
Every other sport.
Yeah, every other sport.
NASCAR.
It's not just willy-nilly out there, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So, so it is a fair argument to say enough's enough, because I hate to go block it on y'all. I hate to do it. He said, I think one of his early videos, I've watched a handful because they are quite entertaining. One of his early videos was it takes the mystery and magic away from the catching of the fish, right? And I think a lot of people feel that way. Like, hey, if I got to use this to catch them and it's my trade, I'm out there as a professional, I get it. You're going to have to adapt and use it if it's allowed. But people watching, they're thinking, well, I want to see this guy his instincts play out and him fish this seam and assume those fish are on that ledge. Because I mean, he saw them on 2D, he saw them on side scan, but he's not watching them bite. The magic is gone, right?
It's that it's not the same.
Right.
Like it's just not the same as side imaging in 2D. It's completely different.
And you can target. I mean, you're literally targeting the fish that you want
to
catch.
You're not fishing. You're hunting in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You're hunting.
Yeah, we went out to Ivy, and all we did was like chase around 12-pound fish all day. Singular, like, you know, oh, this one's over 12. Like literally just chase a freaking fish around, throwing A-rigs and swim baits all day. It was the most boring day. I mean, it wasn't because of who was on the boat, but it was as far as the fishing went, like it was monotonous and honestly terrible.
Yeah, Ryan, we've got a caller. We got a caller that's clicked in. It's one of our favorite viewers. He's always in the comments, but he's never called in. So he wants to ask a question about this. Let's bring him in.
Here we go.
Diggs. Diggs Outdoors. What's up, Diggs?
Hey, nothing much. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Glad to see your face. We see you in the comments every week. We love your interaction in there. We're glad to see your face on screen, man.
Yeah, but I just wanted to bounce this idea off you. Now, I'm going to use the Elite Series as an example because that's one that all of us watch. Let's say Bass does not ban it, but limit it. I would limit it to 4 out of the 9 derbies that they do. But here's the kicker. If you do that, you have to make the angler think that they could use that to their advantage. The anglers get to decide which derbies they want to use it in. They have to declare,
pre-call their shot? Pretty
much. But not on all 9 of them. They don't have to say anything to the day of the derby.
Ooh. Diggs.
So that adds a little bit of interest because the one thing I can see with Bass right now with the Elite Series on television, they're losing viewership. If they would do something like this, it may bring some viewership back because now you're going to watch people with and without. So I see like 3 different things going on here. You're going to have the anglers that have their 4 worst lakes. Those are the lakes that they're going to use the
Diggs. If you go by that, forward facing will still dominate every event.
Good.
Yes. Yeah, it might just
somebody in the field is going to have it.
Yeah, and as I said, it's an idea. I didn't say it was a good one, but
I didn't mean to spit on it right away.
I think it was a fine idea, Diggs. Screw
yeah.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
Brian's from north of the Mason-Dixon, so he's a little brash sometimes.
I just don't know it any other way.
No, that's right. That's probably fair.
And you know, that may actually happen. You know, there's talk of 4 events with, 4 without, and the other one being some kind of wild card. I forget. Personally, I don't like it. I think to me, it's gimmicky. I want to see just the same thing. Like MLF is, I think they've announced theirs, right? They're going to do 1 period you're allowed to use it, and the rest you're not, or the other 2, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how
I think they have to do some. I mean, in my opinion, I think they have to do something though. Like I think there's so much market pressure that there has to be some kind of change made, other than the way it's going right now.
Yeah, well, I know I almost look at like what NPFL just did as kind of like the heroes, or like Jesus over there. You know what I mean? Brad Fuller's the Jesus of bass fishing. He's going to save us all. Like literally.
I love that you pulled back on heroes and went with Jesus. Not the hero, Jesus.
Jesus, yeah, the hero.
Okay.
But like, I don't know why anybody would complain about it, because if you like it, you have somewhere to go and compete and watch it. And if you don't, now you have that too. Literally just stifled every argument. Unless you're a guy at NPFL that likes it and now you're kind of in the spot. You're going to have that. But I don't know. I think that was awesome that they did that. Diggs, any other ideas?
That, but any other idea I had, okay, you want to see it normalized? One screen and one transducer for each boat. No more,
Now
no
we're
less.
talking.
I think that is much more likely.
One screen,
One screen,
One live
transducer.
screen, I think, is what he's.
Yeah.
or
One live.
or one screen.
Ooh,
Is that too preposterous?
pick
No.
your
I mean,
poison.
I'm on a 16-foot boat here, and I have one screen that has forward-facing, side scan, down scan. Can't use them all at the same time. Got to bend down and turn off this transducer and turn on that one. But
I like it. How big of a screen though, Brian? Put a
12.
big Samsung out there.
it ain't all that. It's just 12.
Yeah. See, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mike Tyson. Yeah.
One
yeah,
theme.
brother.
One theme over there. Okay. Yeah.
Well, Diggs,
Anyway,
thank you for calling in there with your suggestion. We appreciate it. We are open all night, at least for the next 19 minutes.
yeah, man.
Okay.
Appreciate
Hey,
you. Diggs.
thanks a lot, guys.
You're the man.
Yes,
man.
sir. Take
Diggs.
care.
Diggs. Love Diggs, man. He's always in the comments mixing it up, man. Love
And
Diggs.
here he
Glad
is.
called in. Glad he called in. We got some more comments rolling in here. BTC's comment about where you like it or don't. What happened to BOS series and motors? He's
Top Shelf,
comparing
they
it to the
allowed
Kayak Boat,
motor. Was it all but 2 events?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they got on board with the change. It wasn't kind of here nor there. I know Bass allowed them kind of from the beginning there, but I think, we've talked about this before. I think the leadership change, Steve-O taking over Bass is really what affected a lot of that. I don't necessarily think it was motor. Yeah, my boy Steve-O, he runs the Bassmaster Kayak Series. Yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
The Steve-O. The one. Only one I got.
He's the
who's
chief.
kicking stuff? Is that you, Ryan?
That's me, yeah.
Stop that.
Nope. Welcome to my show, boy.
I'm gonna go find a pen and click it.
You had one in your mouth. What do you mean go find one? I watched you chew on one.
This one don't.
I thought
click.
you were about to light up a cigarette at first. I was like, whoa, what is he doing?
Yeah, well, yeah.
My man's
Whatever.
getting wild tonight.
Anything goes. We've been off basically for 2 weeks almost, so it's time.
Oh, we took last week off too.
Yeah. Well, we didn't. I took off. Ryan was here. Sorry, Ryan. I didn't mean.
I'm still working, buddy. I'm
Yeah,
still working. Somebody's got to keep this ship right.
yeah.
How's your leg, dude?
Dude, I'm 100%. I can run, jump, frolic. I'm all over.
frolic about?
Shower. I can shower now, not in a camping chair. It's really going well.
Outstanding, dude. Never give up.
How's your friend? Is he doing okay?
So, yeah, I just talked to him a little bit ago and found out how he did it.
Okay.
One of my guys that work for me called out this morning because he chopped the tip of his finger off in the door. And,
Like at the first joint. I text Brian about coming on the show, and he replies with that. I was like, "Oh, right. Well, that's cool."
yeah, just the tip of it. So I didn't have time to ask him questions. I'm like, all right, dude, go deal. Like he was like, literally had it like holding it in one hand and like, yeah, I'm not gonna make it. I gotta go figure this out. All right, buddy, you do that and give me a call when you can. But
So that's an excused absence in your world.
yeah,
Okay.
he's
All right.
he's good, so he gets a pass for sure.
Noted.
But
All right.
But
Well,
yeah, that's
non-fingers.
unfortunate. Yeah. So it was an interior door, a bedroom door, a hollow core door. Wasn't anything
It's not
amazing.
what I expected at all.
No. And he just pulled the door shut and I guess left his hand there. So it just pinched it just pinched the tip of his middle finger between the door and the doorstop molding. And he slammed it shut and then pulled his finger out like, and in the process he pulled the tip off his finger.
Is there any way we could blame Livescope for that?
Yes.
That door had Livescope, I think.
If he had Livescope,
We saw it coming.
we'd have seen it coming.
Well, that's R.I.P. to your friend's distal phalanx there. I hate to see it go like that. I'm wearing my scrubs, so I'm super smart today, Brian. In case you haven't noticed.
Oh man, that's
You're talking to a couple of medical professionals here, sir.
couple of them.
A couple of them.
Oh shit!
That's
So
how
you guys
that's
do
how
that?
we started this in the doctor's lounge, smoking stogies.
Wow.
Yeah. People wonder why healthcare is so jacked up. Now you know.
Nice calves. Do you kayak fish? Is that how it went?
That's how it used to be. Nowadays, it's
Yeah,
we're just
now,
out of shape like the rest of you.
Yeah. Oof. All righty. What questions? I think that's where
I
we're
got the
going,
question.
Jeff. And
I
then
got the question, so one of my questions is going to be, how does this trickle down? Let's pretend 3 years from now all the major series basically outlaw it or severely restrict it, right? Does it get down to kayak fishing to local clubs, state clubs? Will that happen?
What do you think,
trickle
Brian?
down?
In your experience with kayak fishing, where do you think it's going to land?
Or on the bass boat side too? Does it get down into local?
You think local?
clubs
You think
doing it?
local Tuesday nighters will start banning Livescope?
Maybe some will. I mean,
Let's give them the ammo. The pros are doing it. We're getting rid of it too.
Well, but it does bring something up. Like, it creates a weirdness, right? When you have the pros who are supposed to be the best show up to fish an event, and the locals, because they can use that technology, can outfish the hell out of them. And like, we've all seen it. Like, the comments on Facebook, them. The dumbest people on the entire planet go to Facebook to talk. And, well, I mean, we all know that.
Here we are.
We're part of
But I'm supposed to say, like, the guys that show up and they fish, Gunnersville during an elite event just to see how they caught them, why the other guy, just dick measuring. Well, now they've got their forward facing, why those guys don't. I can catch them. I don't know. Whatever. That's their problem.
I think you probably will see some of the, and it may not, could have been an exaggeration on like the Tuesday nighters and stuff, but like some of the larger organizations, like CBA in Chattanooga, for instance, on the Tennessee River, I could see, larger organizations like that, kind of taking that more into account.
Yeah. I do hear that it's a real problem, for, I haven't heard it from Bassmaster's side with the opens necessarily, but I know MLF they're losing co-anglers big time.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them. I've
That's the ultimate front bow, right?
oh my God, dude. A kid I know just fished, I guess the Toyota, was there a Toyota on Champlain? Or maybe it might have been an open. But both days he went in as a co-angler, and both times he had guys that went out scoping open water.
Yeah.
And, the one guy he drew Gill, I think, actually. It was cool. Told him right up front, hey, listen, this is going to suck, but bear with me, and then I'll put you on them.
Yep.
And dude has a system of going about his deal with the Livescope and his outboard, and just keeps moving until he sees one, gets up, casts on it. Dude did nothing but net his fish until he was good, and then he took him to go put him on fish to catch his 3 to weigh in or whatever. Which was cool.
Christine, she fished an open, and I think Trey Swindle was her angler, and he was scoping the whole time, and she's like, it was tough, like just sitting back there basically dragging a worm all day while he's casting at very specific targets in open water.
Yeah, his day 2 guy had him in 60 foot of water with no fish around all day.
I have the answer though, guys. Here we go. Scope in a backpack. That's what the co-anglers.
Yeah.
Show up.
Where does it stop? Do you get to bring your own boat as a co-angler? Is that what's next? Do you think?
Just put on a floating.
Scope in a
Another
backpack.
steering wheel.
And I mean, like, that's just that's the technology that we have right now. This shit ain't done. I mean, did you go to ICAST, Rye? You didn't, did you?
Hell no. I said I wasn't going to go. I didn't go. Everyone had a terrible time, and most of them got COVID. So I felt pretty good about that call.
Really?
Yeah. You didn't get COVID?
Come on, dude.
He's a pure blood.
Of course I did. Of course I did. You know where I hang out.
Ain't had it yet.
Oh boy.
Yeah, wasn't there something in ICAST, Brian, with a rod that had the tech in it where you move your rod and the deucer follows where you put your rod?
You put a little module on your rod, and yeah, where you point your rod turns the Livescope transducer.
Fishing, man.
I mean, but where does it stop? And that was one of the comments earlier.
X-ray vision.
Put up. I mean, seriously, like, is it live cameras that you can swim around down there? Like, what, where do we limit that? Are you going to have a little torpedo you can drive your bait out and dangle it in front of the fish? Like, what are we looking for here, you think?
X-ray vision.
Yeah, I miss the days. Honestly, I miss the
days
days
the fish
when
ate.
See through walls.
This thing's fishing its own gizzard shad right now.
Call me old school, Ryan, but I miss the days when dudes were good at this because they got black market information and waypoints instead of all this.
Yeah, spin it back.
There's more announcements coming from NPFL. Cool.
Right
ones.
now?
Not right now, but
Luke's at dinner right now, so
in the days to come.
We're not getting them from him. LD is locked up in a dinner, so don't worry.
In the days to come, they'll be
good.
Not as big as the forward-facing, but some cool ones.
Corey had a great comment over on Facebook.
Yeah, of course.
When the state starts banning it, it's not going to matter what any organization says. Fair point. That could happen. What do you think of that?
Why could it happen?
Why could it happen?
Yeah.
Like if a state DNR banned.
Yeah, why? Why would they do that?
Some say.
I don't know. I assume like these fishery biology studies is probably what he's referencing. Corey, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I just made that up.
Studies showing negative. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard there's actually states thinking about it. I can't imagine that they would do it. I don't know under what. I get two things I've heard. Yeah, it can be brutal on crappie.
That's what I was going to say. I think it would be more the eating species that would affect.
Like it's guaranteed limits for crappie daily, multiple, whatever you want. These guys are rolling out there and loading the boat. So I think that's where that would probably come from. Other species, not bass.
Yeah, and there's another one. What's that one that has a real close season that they go out and they snag them?
Paddlefish.
Yeah, largemouth bass in California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, spotted bass technically, I guess.
Yeah, that's paddlefish. It's a big paddlefish. Snag this.
Yeah, them things.
Blake Abbey said red snapper. I don't think we're not going down that road tonight, pal.
Well, yeah.
Paddlefish.
Jeez. Yeah. Another Facebook comment. Johnny Milching. I always say his name wrong. Damn it, Ryan. FFS is killing the bait makers.
I think there probably is an impact on some of the bait companies that don't produce forward-facing sonar style baits. What do you think, Brian?
That's what I hear.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to influence as much or more than the tournament side of things is these bait companies that make a living off making frogs and spinner baits and jigs and things that you're not utilizing forward-facing sonar, for, especially when they're not getting promoted. Like you watch these pros for these companies fishing their stuff, but they're not, you can't promote a product that you never pick up, right? So if it's something that you're not getting to utilize every day, it's hard to, I guess, for the sponsors to get that TV time out of, them throwing a minnow on a jig head.
I think the percentage of bass fishermen that actually have forward-facing sonar is like minuscule, like 1%
in the whole bass fishing community.
In the grand scheme of people that catch bass, that 1%, again, voodoo math here. That 1% though probably purchases, I don't know, 20% of the tackle. You know what I mean? As an example. Yeah. But the amount of anglers that actually have it is got to be really small.
Yeah, but how many, and think about like recreational and casual anglers too, how many of those anglers buy something because they see it used, on TV or, in a commercial, winning a tournament, stuff like that. Like how big of an impact is that having, on the big picture?
Yeah.
My thing is, hey, we're talking forward facing. Let's forward face 10 years, 20 years from now, right?
We're back into the lounge. Knocked us
Am I
down.
still alive?
That tech can't tell the future yet, right? It can't tell the future yet. But we've got these young anglers coming up that are really good at it naturally. They grew up with tech, phones, computers, whatever. They should be good at it, right? You've got older anglers getting pissed off and dropping out of the sport, or even middle-aged anglers. So let's fast forward. If this is the way, do people? Where does fishing go? I mean, is it just going to be all? If they don't put constraints on it, are we looking at all levels of fishing is nothing but tech? And will that end up actually shrinking the sport later because people don't want to do that or they can't do that?
Oh, it absolutely could.
Yeah.
If you make it restrictive like that, it absolutely could have that effect. That's what I was kind of getting at with the, what I didn't like about it from the onset was the effect it may have at the college level. It's the haves and the have-nots. Again, it's always been that. I felt like that this would kind of add to that a little bit.
Yeah.
And potentially shrink things. I mean, there's a lot about it that's really cool, getting the young kids out there and saying, hey, they're used to playing a video game, used to seeing stuff, maybe not as good with their imagination as we were. As Ryan was. Imagines a lot of stuff. You want to talk about that?
Imaginary friends. It's imaginary friends.
We're almost out of time here. So.
But I think it actually interests the kids more in a lot of ways. But it
go both ways. So that's kind of another question. Like you're like, hey kid, get off the couch and quit playing video games. Come sit on your ass on the front of this deck and play video games.
At least he's getting sunshine right.
Yeah, I guess vitamin D is important. I hear. But is that
that's what you said?
Yeah.
Amen.
Here's BTC.
Look at here, man. Corey says NASCAR's trying to make NASCAR all electric. Is that true? What kind of anti-American talk is that?
Have you watched a NASCAR race in the last 8-9 years, Jeff? It looks like WWE or something. Like it's like a like a rap concert or something. They got smoke machines and they come out dancing with the Twin Peaks girls and stuff. And it's like, what are we like? Where's Dale? Where's Dale? Damn it!
I know America's on the brink here, but electric cars and NASCAR, come on,
boy,
they are fast.
I tell you what.
Well, yeah,
it's like all those electric motor lakes up there, Brian.
It'd be really quiet too. I guess it'd be good for people that have hearing problems. It'd be really quiet. Sponsored by Newport. There you go.
How long before gas motors are outlawed in bass fishing? As soon as Mercury tunes up or was it Mercury or Yamaha that bought Torpedo? They'll have it tuned up in a minute.
What are you guys running?
Oh man, I got a damn 454 big block out there on the old yak.
Brian, look, I'm that old guy that is not about it. I'm still human power moving this kayak. No Livescope.
I got a twin stick 16 speed in mine. You don't want to pull up on me, I promise.
I promise.
Yeah. No, I got one of those damn old towns with the spot lock and all that bullshit from my Livescope screen. So I'm staying on the slower side of the cutting edge.
I don't even have a spot lock.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I will say this, and Terry Battisti. Do you guys know who that is?
The name sounds very familiar.
Bass Fishing Archives, Instagram, Facebook page. He actually had a big page for a while, but he works for the government and he wasn't allowed to have social media. So he had to shut it down for a bit. And
I work for the government. Don't tell him, Ryan.
Well, he's doing stuff other stuff.
Yeah.
Where are we going with this? Oh, Terry was Terry brought something up that I didn't realize how big of an effect it had, but GPS technology, when that came out, when that hit bass fishing, that had a huge effect. And again, there wasn't the social outrage platforms for people that shouldn't have opinions or be able to voice them can. But what was I saying?
Yeah.
Buddy, we are trying to get you there. If there's anything I can do to help,
The GPS, the outrage over GPS. Some people would say that GPS mapping was the biggest thing to ever hit the change bass fishing, right?
Yeah, because now it wasn't about going out and triangulating, using your bait, using your sonar to find the spot. Now you just boop, boop, and you could pass that on, or somebody could get it. And now people were just on your stuff. It just, the ability to have spots to yourself, keep secrets like that went out the window in a huge way. I would say that probably one of the biggest changing effects on the sport in the last.
I think
30
being able
years.
to mark your structure or the finding your fish, so to speak, I think that's huge.
And get back to them every time.
Yeah, and having that ability, but I don't know, something about like literally like watching finding your fish and watching your fish where they move to get away from you, like even if you pull up on a waypoint, it's a rock pile or something, you may catch a couple fish off of it and they're like, oh shit, all right, well, somebody's obviously catching my friends here, and they'll swim off. Well, now you don't have to worry if they swim off. You just boop, 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 just chase them all over the lake until they finally get pissed off enough to bite.
Yeah, it's no good, no bueno. But to Brian's point, without that, how effective the scope would still be effective, but you couldn't just run to them every time either. You'd have to still find them. So
no, but I mean, a scope though, I feel like a scope, you don't necessarily even have to know where you're at. Like, you can scout that whole thing out live, standing up on the trolling motor pedal, or like Brian said, the guy just using his big motor to cover water until he saw one. So it's not like necessarily where you're going to. Like, obviously you want to be in an area that holds bigger fish, but you can just drive around until you see them on the Livescope.
It's crazy. It's crazy stuff, man. NPFL took a bold move. We'll see what happens with the rest. But yeah,
before you wrap up, or whatever that was.
No, I don't know. I was about to throw a graphic up, but go ahead, Brian.
I'm sorry, buddy. I wanted to say something.
I haven't been here in 2 weeks, man. I don't know what I'm doing.
Jeff's like, well, it's bedtime. We'll see y'all.
Getting late. I don't know. Geez, 15 years ago or something. Went to Alaska. Buddy of ours we grew up with is in the Coast Guard, and he's stationed in Alaska. So me and Ike flew to Alaska to hang out for a week with him and experience Alaska. It was the most amazing trip ever. So the one day we got access to a boat, one of a really big boat. It was like a 16-foot aluminum boat, and we went out for halibut, just in the harbor where we were. And we were no electronics on the damn thing, and we're going out to catch halibut that are like 100 feet deep, and we were triangulating with landmarks to find the deep spot, and we caught them. And what was more amazing is Tom only had 2 waypoints for landmarks, I should say, not waypoints, landmarks for us to triangulate on, which
you drive until you get between that tree and that house, buddy.
Yeah, they're like, that thing over there, that Mike's like, that's 2 spots. But
don't guide the guide, boys. Don't guide the guide.
But we dropped down, the thing open up the spool, and the thing goes down, and boom, like a 16-ounce weight. It's a big giant drop shot. 16-ounce weight, like this far off the bottom, and a chunk of like salmon belly or something like that. And it hits the bottom and boom. Just fucking winding this thing up, and you got to move the line with your finger. It was terrible. But but they tasted amazing. And the fact that we got out there in that aluminum boat and triangulated in Alaska, 2 landmarks, while an otter was on his back with his hands folded, watching us. It's fantastic, dude. I would not even have seen that otter if we had Livescope.
That's right.
That's probably true. Think of how much of Alaska you would have missed if you were staring at a Livescope screen.
See, and that is the magic that Randy Blockett was talking about right there. So
How
that's
crazy
a segue
is
right
it
there, Brian,
that Randy's been right this entire time?
I knew it.
That's how you know none of this is real life.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, just look at what's been going on.
We do live in a simulation, I believe.
Oh my God, it's so effed up.
Yeah, it's
Here
crazy.
we are, Bass Fishing Podcast. You guys met in the doctor's lounge.
Yeah.
right.
Yep. Where did
I
we
was
meet?
patient.
Truck stop bathroom.
That's Brian and Ryan, by the way. Not
Yeah,
me and-
yeah, for sure. 100%. 100% it was.
Maybe.
Oh boy.
Maybe.
No, I was going to show you. I did an unscientific poll over on YouTube, Ryan.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Let's see if I can find it. If I remember how to operate this thing. Here we go. Should Livescope be banned in kayak fishing? 78% no.
There you go. Done. Not
So,
banned. You're welcome.
Stephen AJ, if you're watching,
Do that survey again in 3 years. Or
I
however
think if we
long
just-
it takes for them young kids.
Are we
find
still
out.
going to be here in 3 years, Jeff? Do you think?
No, I don't think so. But I have a better solution to that: is we ban anyone under 25, and/or you have to have a child. In that way,
Yes. Yes.
you don't have the time nor the energy to get out there and beat us with your newfangled tech.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I saw
Yeah.
Todd Miner in the comments. I'm just kidding, man. We love it.
It's not fine. That's fun. That's Dad, right?
Yeah,
That's Dad. Oh yeah, that is Dad.
It's well
Dad
done,
of
sir.
the phenoms.
Well done, sir.
Luckily, Nolan has given up on us and taken off into the saltwater. So,
Is that where he went? Salt?
dude? He does all kinds of like YouTube stuff in
Yeah.
salt all the time. Yeah, he's out there quite often.
Salt's cool.
Yeah, I mean, they eat out there pretty good.
Yeah.
I hear.
And you can eat them back.
That's right.
Yes, you can.
That's right.
Tastes better than a bass. Well,
Doesn't
we're
take
sure.
much.
What
Yeah.
else we got, Jeff?
No, we don't have anything else, man. I mean, we don't like keeping folks a little more than an hour just because you're giving us.
We
your
don't want to
time.
do this longer than an hour.
Well,
This-
I mean, I've got to take my medicine.
I used to watch these guys do like a 3-hour podcast. It was crazy.
Next episode of Law and Order is coming on. I got to get out of here. No, but we appreciate you taking the time in to do this with us. Get in here and talk to some lowly kayak anglers about forward-facing sonar. So it's fun stuff, man. We appreciate it.
I like people with opinions, Brian, and I know you're not short on them.
Is that a good thing?
Nope,
Maybe.
but that's why I
Nope.
wanted you here with us.
Hey, give us the juice on your podcast one more time. Thursday nights, right? Bass Fishing After Dark.
Just Bass After Dark.
Bass Art.
Yep. Masturbating After Dark.
All right.
Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern. YouTube, Facebook. It's a good time, man. We actually put a lot of work into it. We have a top 10 list every week, which is a blast.
Which are hilarious. Just please go follow Bass After Dark just for the top 10 list.
Yeah, go check out the Instagram page or whatever, YouTube, Facebook page, and just go back, scroll through, and read some of the top 10s. It's a lot of fun. We put a lot
Hilarious.
of work into that, and I promise you, every week, the best ones don't make the list because they can't. They cannot.
FCC regs.
Do you
Oh my
have
God.
any kind of like premium Snapchat or something that we can subscribe to see the list?
I feel like you need to have a members only like subscription behind the wall where you can tell it all.
If it ever got out, nobody has a sense of humor.
It would end
Nobody
it would
likes
end your
to laugh at
career.
themselves.
Is that what you
Oh.
were going to say, Brian?
Yeah, no, yeah, it would be rough.
Oh
We've got some fans here. N8 Music says it's a very long podcast, but very good. Other people saying it's very good, very good show.
That's pretty much synonymous with Brian.
Yeah, maybe think
Long
of our
and good.
original. Yeah, that's right. Remember our original name? We were not
That's right.
After dark, but we were after hours. That was our original podcast name, back in the day, right?
Yep.
KBN After Hours was our name.
And
Had a
here we
little
are.
neon light sign. We didn't know what we were doing then, but it was fun. Some would say we still don't. But yeah,
we definitely do that.
Brian, we appreciate you, man. We'll let you get out of here. We're going to give away some glasses and wrap this thing up. But that was fun. Good discussion.
Thank you for coming on tonight and
Dude, thanks for hitting
lending your
me up, guys.
professionalism.
Yeah.
Good
Thanks.
balance. We're a good
BTT,
balance.
everybody. Hands up.
Later, homie.
Clap it up for BTC. There we go, everybody.
One of the inspirations, honestly, for how we structured this podcast, the way they the way they ran iClive, just having a few beers, talking some trash. It was a good inspiration here.
Yes, we're gonna give away these glasses. Summer's over in the comments. Hashtag summer's over, and we'll pick a winner here in just a minute. So overall, man, what'd you think, Ryan? What'd you think of the discussion?
No, it was good. And that's why, I've obviously talked to several people about coming on tonight. But Brian was top of the list because he's been in the sport for so long. He's been a part of, the Ike Live family for a long time, and now moving on, with one of the guys, like you said, that has all the stats on all the Bassmaster stuff. So I thought that would be, kind of a good outside opinion. Brian doesn't fish the opens or the elites or anything. So I thought that'd be a good, kind of third party, but still inside the circle perspective to kind of, get an opinion on how it's taken shape. And I don't know how it's going to trickle down to us. It may not at all. I don't see it being as, like I said, as impactful as big an issue in kayak fishing. But I definitely think, the world of tournament fishing altogether, it's had a massive impact on.
Yeah. And just to be clear, I'm Team Bannett now. I'm full on Team Bannett. I'm with you, NPFL.
I mean, if we go back to having to hand carve our own, boats out of trees, I'm solid with that. To be honest, I think we've lost a lot of what made it so much fun in the beginning.
Yeah, I tell you, I got into kayak fishing originally, Ryan, for the physical aspect of it. I mean, the fishing aspect, of course, for the tournaments and everything, but the fact that it was like you had to sort of stay in shape to get 3 miles away from where you started or 4 miles. That was cool to me as someone that couldn't play basketball like I used to and anything anymore, but that's gone. So at least
I like that part. And I like, for me, it was like the camaraderie. Like it was a social aspect. Like, cause obviously we started, fishing our local club TVKA that Steve-O and I started, but it was just, going hanging out with 12 or 14 of your buddies on an afternoon. You launched at the same place. You're fishing around each other all afternoon. Like, it was much more social on the water than I feel like it is now. Now I feel like everybody's so concentrated on the tournament or what, whatever. You lose a lot of that social interaction that used to make it so much fun. And now you can't talk to people on the phone and stuff to kill the day. So it's really kind of cut us off to a pretty solo sport.
Yeah. I feel bad. The hashtag, I may have made the hashtag too long tonight. We got people that can't spell it. We got double hashtags, wrong spellings.
Yeah, I see a little bit of that.
Sorry, guys. I should have made it like hashtag.
So there's only like 3 states worth of people that are going to be eligible to win this.
My bad. That's got to be the Longhorns in the comments doing that nonsense. I don't know. I'm sorry.
It's probably the Florida State fans because they're finished watching college football for the year.
Yeah, they're done. They're done. Let's hit this giveaway. Sorry for the
sorry, Knowles.
Summer's lovers or whatever you put in the comments.
Summer's Eve. Never mind.
Yeah, Summer's Eve. There we go. Not a sponsor. Let's see who gets slow rolled this evening. Who's it gonna be? I saw Megatron, Derek, Top Shelf, Scott Black. That's a new winner. I haven't seen that name on here before. So
way to go, Scott Black.
Hit us up. DM me on the Facebook there, and I'll get you a code. And there you go.
ASAP. If he doesn't get you a code within 10 minutes, DM me, then I'll DM him and I'll DM you back.
Yeah. We'll get in all in them DMs. And you will get your glasses.
All right. I'm glad you came back, Jeff. Thank you. I missed you. Let's do it again next week. What do you say?
Yes, sir.
All right. Later, y'all.